Hello and welcome back. I want to thank you for taking time to listen to me ramble on as I just try to share pieces of this and that with you all. So I've had several readers ask me if I've always enjoyed reading and writing, and my answer is no. I did not even want to be a writer when I grew up. So, here we are, and I'm about ready to have my 6th year writing anniversary. But the reading part, I picked up reading when my boys were toddlers. I didn't, when it was late at night, I didn't want to have the TV on when I was doing mommy things like feeding babies. So I would read. And I think the very first book I picked up was The Apothecary's Daughter. I think I had had this book for I don't know how long. And can't believe it's been 18, no, more like 16 years since I read that one. Maybe I should pick it up again. It's on my shelf. But anyway, it started out with just something else so that I didn't turn the television on. At the time, our home was very small, and our bedroom was just on the other side of the wall of the living room, and I didn't want to wake my husband. So reading became the obvious choice, or else I sat there staring in the dark. And then when the Kindle came out, that's when I got my first Kindle, and I've been hooked ever since. I mean, the idea that being able to read any classic novel that you would have to search bookshelves forever to find in the paperback, it's right there at your fingertips. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to read Jane Austen, and now I had read Frankenstein in high school in the paperback, but I wanted to read it again, and just some of the other ones, that the classic novels out there, Wuthering Heights, honestly probably anything by the Bronte sisters would have worked. So that's what I did. I just dug for whatever I could find, and to my enjoyment, it was free on Kindle. So here you go, right? But then, fast forward a few years, and I started reading so much that when I was reading, I'm like, I would have done that one different. Or I wonder what would have happened if this had happened instead of this, right? And then it just morphed, after a friend encouraged me just to start writing, despite my fears, because I know where my flaws are as far as writing goes, and the English language. My grammar is terrible. My punctuation is terrible. I cannot grasp, how some people can't grasp math, which I can't. I can't grasp some of these writing rules. I even have a cheat sheet on my wall, and I can't figure this out. You just get going, and then it's done, Maybe that's the artsy part of me. Once you start, you just can't stop, forget about the rules. So, I started writing, and it morphed into a monster, is what I call it. You kind of let the monster out of the cage. Once you start the creative juices going, it just never stops. And it's exciting to see worlds develop and characters develop. And before long, you look at the character you've written, and you see pieces of people around you in these characters. So, reading and writing, they go hand in hand. And as a teenager, or a kid, we were always told, you'll be so much smarter if you read and write. And I really didn't care. I didn't care that I was smarter. But, as I got older, I realized that the smarter they were referring to, at least from what I can see, is that it opens your eyes to different things, different ways of being, different personality traits, different flaws, different fears, different everything, cultures. I think that one's my favorite. It's reading. In the early years, I was reading Scotland-based novels because I have a lot of ancestry coming out of Scotland. More than I probably should. I think I've counted 10 clans, but I digress. Okay, so, I wanted to read anything that was Scottish, okay? And some of them were a little, not very educational. Because I was married, there were things I already knew. And this is what really turned me on to the Christian fiction. Not because I'm a Christian, okay? Because I think some of it is very, very cookie cutter. But I tell you, Christian writers, they do their research because they know they need to have good content. Content that is relatable, but is going to take the reader on a journey. So, when I started reading about the Old West, which was something else that I loved, because I have family that settled there before World Civil War. So I wanted to know what was life like there, just a little bit. And, through books, I could get a glimpse into what life could have been like. And when you read, when the author has done their research. So, as I read and started this writing journey, I was determined to be that kind of writer. The writer that did her homework, did plenty of research, if it was on something that I didn't know. Like, for instance, I know the plans, my third book in the Promises series. I had to think about how many books I've published since then. It's only been one. And I know the plans. When the characters started to talk, I had, and Brad told me that he had a traumatic brain injury. I had to stop. Listen to me, I'm talking like he visibly, sorry. Writers get it, okay? Anyway, so when he started to tell me that he suffered a traumatic brain injury and that he couldn't remember his wife and their life together, I thought, okay, wait a minute. I got to make this, I need to research this, and I need to be able to draw the picture for readers on what it's like to live with this. So I had to do a lot of homework. Also in the same story, Tiffany cannot have children. And so I knew I didn't have to go to the internet to do research because I don't know however you want to put this. I know I have several friends that have struggled to conceive or never have conceived, or just something has made it hard for them to have children. So I went to them. I says, can you give me your story, the Reader's Digest version of your story, and can I use it? Can I use pieces of it? Not all of it as in whole, but just give me a glimpse into your life. And then at the same time, this couple is a military family. So, again, I went to Military Wives. We see all this stuff about what the men are dealing with, but I wanted to shine a light on the wives. What are these women dealing with? And so I have several military wife friends, and I asked them, how do you do this? And how do you get through this? Can you share your story? And they were all more than willing. So this is the fun thing about reading and writing is you get to learn and discover new things about people and places. And if you're imaginative like I am, you can go there. Wouldn't that be cool? If you could visualize what you see in your head. So, that's me in a nutshell. This is why I write, and this is why I love to read. This is why there's Back Porch Reads, and why I love promoting other books. In fact, I don't even like watching TV anymore. My husband will have it on to watch his car shows, but I'm always doing something that's writing or reading related. So, that's me in a nutshell. Thank you for sticking around. Feel free to share with me why you like to write or read. I'd love to hear your story, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. All right? God bless, and have a good one.